pretty sick.
Yeah, that would be just add that on to the fact that Leenock won $40,000 at our event just 2 weeks ago, and he's racked up ridiculous prizes at others. Leenock is just truly on top of the world.
It's kind of crazy though, the storyline we've had going on here with Fight Club. You know, because it's kind of, I mean, it's a daily event. You know, you expect it to be a pretty lighthearted thing, and you know, not be too like intense or crazy or anything, and you know, just have a lot of fun, see great pro players face off against each other. And what it's turned into is this crazy storyline with Hyun just doing so incredibly well that all of a sudden you've got the world watching, and you want to see who's going to take him down. And if the person who finally does beat him, you know, and Leenock could be that person, whoever they are, I mean, you want to see what happens next.
Yes. And speaking to that, we actually do not have a challenger yet for next week. We do not know who's going to go up against one of these two players.
Well, that's because if it's Hyun,
yes,
there is nobody.
Ha! We had tried for Palmer, but he was busy with GSL, preparing for GSL. So that was who we wanted next, but we'll find someone, so don't worry about it. Someone will inevitably want to jump up and try to take out one of these two guys. For now, though, looks like Leenock is going to go after a, I thought I disabled mouse wheel zoom, but apparently I didn't, so for a second you'll have to bear with this terrible mouse I'm using, which occasionally just randomly goes pew. Leenock decides to go for...
Really? The mouse even rotates the screen?
Yes,
Kev?
it does, actually, so it's just, it's absurd. I don't know how it does.
Oh, look at that mouse wheel right now.
It's too good. Anyway.
Like a mouse running on it.
Yes. I did get to spend some time with Legend. Actually, my greatest compliment I received at IPL 5 was Legend, like, you're a very, very good caster. And
your heart skipped 3 beats.
Yeah. And then he held my hand for a while. He was kind of drunk. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so here.
Should have left out the drunk part. That was adorable until it was that.
Well, Legend's awesome, though. 15 hatch into Extractor into pool for Leenock. 15 pool coming up first for Hyun. Decides to expand afterwards. Gets his gas shortly thereafter. And so he's not going to have his speed that far behind his opponent, but he is going to have a little bit better presence with his queens out on the map. Things like that for now.
No, definitely the case. And looking forward towards the future, I mean, a couple of things about Leenock that we know on this map. He loves infestors. This is the map where we see him make like 25 of them.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, whether it's at IPL or whether it's he did that the other day. Some match. Did we have him? I think it was IPTL we casted him.
Yeah, probably.
But Leenock, man, he just like makes tons of units, and those units are from infestors, because they are infested Terrans.
That's right. Spawn army. Baleen Nest coming up for Leenock. You have to whenever you go for hatch first. Hyun follows his up right afterwards.
Baneling's in the main, though, Kev.
Yeah.
It's like...
So often we've been seeing, especially the people that have gone hatch first. Now, the people that go pool first, I could kind of see that. So Hyun... I get it. Leenock, though, he's putting his Baling Nest inside of the main. He had decided to go, or most players have been going for Baling Nest right here, then a Spine Crawler right there. And it keeps you a lot more well-defended because Zerglings don't really have all that much surface area to actually attack the Spine Crawler.
Yeah, I think this is actually where we saw Stefano get knocked out. He did the Baling Nest Spine Crawler and then at the last second canceled it. And it's kind of tough because if you go for that strategy on this map, it's so easy for the Overlord up on the ledge to get vision of the exact timings of everything that you're doing. And that in of itself provides too much information.
Okay, well, we'll see what Hyun wants to do because Leenock's making a decent round of Speedlings. Looks like Hyun's own speed is going to finish up momentarily. He's making 4 Banelings back at home, so he's going to remain perfectly safe to this. The question is, what sort of a follow-up will he have? 8lings are actually ducking in, trying to actually kill as many drones as they can right away. They haven't gotten one yet. They do manage to kill 1 Baneling, but not a lot of scouting information gained. Leenock actually not getting much done with that. There we go. Picks off 1 drone. Not able to snag it up after that.
And the Zerglings will be cleaned up without killing any Banelings. That was a little bit sloppy out of Hyun. I thought he would have moved the drone to the other side or into the main base because it was down to just 5 hit points. It's like, okay, you can actually pretty much guarantee that you're going to kill this. But as it stands, no players having taken any third bases. We've got a Roach Warren on the way for Hyun, which is a slight deviation as Leenock is currently going for that fast carapace play again.
Yeah, and really nice scout here from Hyun. He knows that layer tech is not on the way. In fact, he runs it one more time afterwards. Tries to even bait out a couple of Banelings here. He does manage to bait out 1. Kills a couple of drones with a second of his own. How many drones have actually been killed entirely in this game? Okay, 3-1 right now, so a slight advantage for Hyun, who is carrying, well, actually, they're dead even on workers.
Roachborn going down for Leenock now to reciprocate the one that is out for Hyun. A Lair is also going to finish for a Red Zerg player, and +1 and +1 starting up. So a bunch of things are getting started here for Hyun, but this doesn't look like any sort of timing. Now, you know, you've got like, okay, when you, here's how you can tell a player doesn't really intend to go for a big attack. When they start Galil and +1 at the same time. Makes it real obvious because, I mean, when they finish in different timings, and I mean, you can move across the map actually with a ton of roaches. Let me actually correct myself there. You can, if you make roaches like ahead of time.
Yeah.
You can march them across. They'll get there really fast because of Gleal, and then by the time they arrive, they can have +1.
We'll see if he does that. For now, though, he's taking his third and just sitting back for a little while. Looks like he's
beautiful.
Actually going to be pretty cost-effective here. Leenock's going to have to duck away with those momentarily. In fact, those Zerglings are going nowhere in a hurry. Nice job by Hyun. Good control. Keeps the second Baneling alive. And he does have a bunch of roaches popping out at the moment with a few more Banelings morphing in for defense. But for now, it looks like he's a little more worried about what his opponent is sending at him than anything else.
Here come more Zerglings, but Hyun has units in position to deal with these. And he's also got roaches spawning throughout the rest of his base. So, nope, it looks like those links turned around. They could have run in to do some harass, but chose not to.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at the upgrade situation here. +1 attacks for range units starting now for Leenock. He did just finish up +1 armor, whereas Hyun, I believe, yeah, just +1 weapons coming up for him now. So a similar situation to what we saw in game number 1.
Point out a slight advantage that Leenock has managed to harness, however, at his third base. Did finish those, or started up those extractors a lot earlier here than Hyun, who has yet to even drop anything down. So Leenock going to have a substantial amount more gas in the coming future, as we can see his pathogen glands has started up.
Yeah, he already has a lot of gas bank too, so a decent number of infestors are going to be produced. Back on Hyun's side of things, yeah, it looks like he's a little bit just more worried about getting production from this hatchery than anything else. Nice job to catch these Zerglings out in the middle of the map, and that's kind of a disaster for, or not a disaster for Leenock, because he picks up on the units that are actually swinging their way out, but what does he have to defend against this? He's just making a bunch of infestors now, and those are not going to be out in time, and there's +1 and Gleal finished up for Hyun.
And it's 20 roaches to 14. A nice advantage here for Hyun, but there are some Zerglings as well. All he needs to do is buy himself some time. Infestors and roaches are getting ready to spawn, but there is so much here for Hyun, who's going to be forcing back these units of Leenock with just a carapace against the roach attack.
But there are the infestors, and one pops up at the third. That is perfect. Just perfect for Leenock, and he pushes this army away. More reinforcements are making their way out, but there's too much here for Leenock now, especially with his infestors in tow.
Oh, needs nice splitting. Hyun doing a good job, but if those units get too clumped up, the infestors will make all the difference. Hit 6 roaches with one of those fungals, and now a couple are going down, and it looks like Leenock is going to push through and defend this beautifully.
Oh man, Leenock is so good. He manages to take out that army. He's got enough to pick off reinforcements one by one very easily, and now he's established his little bit better tech than his opponent. When this upgrade finishes up, now he's got an upgrade advantage for at least the next 90 seconds over his opponent now, with that +1/+1 already in tow.
That he does, and he's going to be starting up his +2 as well. So Leenock hard on the heels on the ranged upgrades and already ahead on the carapace, as you said, Kevin. So Hyun, I mean, it looks like he's going to try to drop a macro hatch, get a little bit of a unit count advantage going on here, as Leenock currently doesn't have a macro hatch. So it's going to be a nice small advantage.
Now, without that infestation pit, though, things are pretty bleak for Hyun at the moment. I mean, Leenock, he's not necessarily going to have superior economy or production or anything like that for a while, but he's miles ahead in tech. He's already got how many infestors out? 6 infestors, 2 more on the way, and pathogen glands is just now started for Hyun.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the tech deficit is certainly going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. And the real thing here is that's the longer this game goes on, because Leenock, you know, he's already got, what, 8 infestors out on the field? These are 8 infestors that are currently getting more and more energy right now. And so these Hyun is going to have his infestors spawn here in, well, there he goes, finally, starting them a couple seconds late there, but not much. 5 infestors, so a smaller amount of infestors right now, Kev. They're going to have way less energy.
Yeah, and Leenock's actually starting to get aggressive down in the bottom right-hand corner, and we talked about timings that are available to you, and this is one unintentional, of course. It's not like Leenock planned this one, unless he did see the timing of the infestation pit, which, let me go ahead and take a gander. No, okay, so he didn't know, so this is not like this is planned, but it is going to hit nicely before those infestors pop up.
They may pop in the middle of the fight, though, which could be a little dangerous for Leenock. He needs to make sure he's prepared for that possibility. Infested Terran going down absolutely everywhere. There are 3 spawn crawlers here, but they're going to do nothing. The roaches of Hyun falling back for now. He's going to see if he can mount some sort of a defense after losing this third, or will he try to hold it back?
Well, I guess he's going to, but now he's using energy for energy here, and that's not the most efficient use of his brand new infestors, as Leenock is still continuing to push through. He kills the third base again, and Leenock has just dominated these first 3 games.
Well, the thing is, Hyun keeps going through these timings with, roaches and without infestations, without an infestation pit at all, excuse me, and Leenock has held them, and then he has waited, and then he has countered at a perfect time at which Hyun can do nothing.
Look at this. He's been taking out the gas, too, so that when that he's going to force his opponent to waste 2 more drones, to waste a bunch of time. Good little catch here from Hyun. He does manage to pick off a lot of roaches, and he will be able to solidly win this engagement here, especially with his, I guess, equal upgrades is what we can call it at this stage. No, actually, I take that back. I'm sorry again. Leenock did actually finish +2 weapons a little bit faster, so I'm a bit shocked at that, as Hyun is pretty much behind now in every measurable category.
That's one of the other things about Leenock. He can actually just throw away droves of roaches and somehow still be ahead. It's kind of crazy.
Well, he's going to max out so much quicker than his opponent now. Superior economy, more bases, cancels this third hatch again, starting to move in now with the superior investor count, and we've seen this all too often lately. Infested Terrans versus Infested Terrans. Those are Leenock's Infested Terrans, and it looks like his are going to stay up for just a bit longer.
Yeah, he's got so much energy here. Nice fungal growth on some of the infestors. The Overseer as well made damage to throw capabilities. Doesn't matter. GG. Going down for Hyun, folks, and that is going to take it.
Wow, okay.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. Leenock doing really well in the set so far. Not intimidated by our ridiculously winning champion of Fight Club for so many weeks now. He's just proving that he's got what it takes to take home that huge $1,900 prize.
Yeah, will Leenock be the one to do it? He's been on fire lately, folks, so it's definitely a possibility. We're going to be moving to the next game shortly in just a minute here, but Kevin, any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, again, a couple of scenarios there. We saw that Leenock was able to kind of hold at exactly the right time. That's been a trend over the past couple of games. You mentioned it before. It seemed like Hyun was going after a couple of timings. Each time he's gotten there, though, Leenock, not only does he hold, he doesn't take economic damage. And in this specific circumstance, he was actually able to put on a ton of follow-up pressure. Usually, Hyun had tried a couple of different times to put on pressure of his own. In this case, Leenock held it once and then decided, all right, I've got infestors. It's time to go kill you.
Yeah. The holding of timings, you said we've been seeing more of it lately. Nurchio really popularized this. He was like, I go for giant glial 1-1 timings. He'd he'd start a lair, then start 1-1, then start his glial. It'd all wrap up at the same time and he'd hit. And I feel like a lot of players just got really good at holding them.
Yeah, and we certainly see that Leenock is adept at those. And I like his little bit more reactionary defensive style, prioritizing that +1 Carapace for the time being. That's universal across all of his units. It makes his Zerglings able to last a little bit longer into the game, too. So Leenock's just done really well, man. What do you think Hyun can do to come back?
Stop doing timing attacks. They're not working. And maybe go Mutalisk because he likes it so much.
I feel like he's got to win an all-in game here or something like that, too, to just kind of shift the momentum back his way.
Yeah, he really does.
All right, guys, well, we're going to run to a commercial break. Leenock is just 2 games away from taking out Hyun. I just like every game that goes through here now, I just get a little bit more and more sad. It's not because I don't like Leenock. I love him. The guy participates in all our tournaments. He just won IPL 5. It's amazing. He's a great guy. If he becomes champion here, I hope he stays on for 1 billion weeks in a row. But Hyun, man, this is a legacy.
You want to see him reach Nest T level.
Yeah.
Can it happen? He's going to have to come back from an 0-3. We'll find out after this quick commercial break.